someone who lives in a home, maybe even born in that home, and someone comes from out, saying to the one who lives here, go away. This home is mine. My father's, grandfather, great-grandfather. Go away. It's my home. Maybe he is correct. Maybe he's wrong. The international law and the international ethics say very simply, do you have a document that this home is your family's, belongs to your family? Who was the founder of the land you come to visit it? The land and the spirit. The founder was at the time the first Prime Minister, Minister of Defense, the builder of IDF, David Ben Gurion. David Ben Gurion was not an observant Jew. He wasn't brought up on Orthodoxy life, but he loved the Bible. He knew the Bible. He loved it. Once upon a time, 1972, I was a district rabbi in North Tel Aviv, in this area, not the chief rabbi of the city yet. I received a phone call. Medaber David Ben Gurion. Ben Gurion is speaking. He was at a time, he resigned already from the government, but he was a legend, a living legend. Ben Gurion speaks to me. I was younger with 44 years. Can you imagine? A young rabbi on the first time of my rabbinate, Ben Gurion will call me. I thought that this is one of the stand-upists, a comedian, an artist who pretends to be Ben Gurion. There were many who tried to do it on the stage. So I gave him the chance to play the game. And I said, Ken Mar Ben Gurion, yes, Mr. Ben Gurion, how can I help you? On the telephone. He said to me, there are two sentences in the Bible that I don't understand. Can you please lit my eyes, leha'ir einai, to lit my eyes in these two psukim, these two sentences. If it's not difficult to you, please give me your time. I said to him, tomorrow 10 o'clock is good? He said, very good, thank you. We have a date tomorrow, April 13, Kaftet Benisan Tafshin Lamed Bet. But I was still not sure that this was Ben Gurion. Maybe someone is teasing me. My late brother, Naftali Lavi, who served 4 years as Consul General of Israel in New York, ambassador from 81 to 85, at the time he worked in the Ministerium of Defense in Tel Aviv. I phoned to him, said to him, Naftali, someone is teasing me that he pretends to be Ben Gurion, and I know that you have your channels to check. I don't want to be a victim of a candid camera. Tomorrow morning I arrive at 10 o'clock. The camera will be there, the television, and they will laugh at me. Ben Gurion have invited you. Why? Tell me if Ben Gurion phoned now to Rabbi Lau. 10 minutes later, my brother answers the telephone and says, may I join you tomorrow 10 o'clock on Keren Kayemet 17? He knew already the details and the conclusion. We are going. Okay. We both entered. He was learning Shas, Talmud, every day 1 hour. His bodyguard, who opened us the door, brought us in to his library, 5 rooms, only books. All the 4 walls of the 5 rooms were covered with books to the ceiling. And there was a shelf of Shas Schulzinger, an American Talmud, 20 volumes. I asked the bodyguard, he didn't know that this is Talmud. Does he open once upon a time one of these books? He said, the heavy one? I said, yes. The red one? I said, yes. Every day I have to give him, it's too high for him. Ben Gurion was a short man. I give him every day one of these books. He reads an hour and I give it back. Ben Gurion arrived. And he told me what is the sentence that he doesn't understand. And this is not the point I want to share with you. I had the opportunity to ask him something that he was involved, and I used it very, very many times. And this is the first time in my life that I have the chance to ask the man involved, is it true or it's one of the legends that they tell about you? There were many bluffs. Ben Gurion said so, Ben Gurion said that. It was a legend. And here I had the chance to ask him, personally, face to face. He said, what is the story? I said, there is a story they tell about you. I have heard it when I was 15 years old. In Yeshiva boy in Yerushalayim, someone told us this story. I want to ask you if it is true. What is the story? 1936 till 1939, there were riots here in what the British mandate called Palestine. They didn't call it Eretz Israel. Medinat Israel didn't exist yet. 36, 39. The land of Israel was under the control of the British mandate. And there were riots. Jews couldn't go from Tel Aviv to Yerushalayim. They were attacked. The buses were attacked by bullets, not only stones, bullets. It was a danger to go to Yerushalayim. The British government understood that they must do something. How to solve this issue called Palestine? Jews against Arabs, Arabs against the Jews. And the British authorities suffered of this. What to do? They sent an investigation committee called the Committee of Peel. Peel is a name of a lord in the House of Lords in England, United Kingdom. He was the head of the delegation. Only British politicians and lawyers, judges. How to solve the problem of Palestine. Give your recommendations to the government of England. They were sitting in Yerushalayim, in the same house where the Supreme Court used to sit. We call it Migrash Harusim. The place of Yerushalayim, it's between the old and the new city. And they sit there like a court. There was a pulpit like this. On the pulpit, there were 3 books. The Bible, Lahavdil, the New Testament, and the Quran, the Islamic fundamental book. Every one of the witnesses who came to speak to the Peel Committee had to put his hand on his book, according to his religion, and to swear or declare at least that he will say the truth like in a court. For the Jews was the Bible, for the Christians, the British mainly. The New Testament and the Quran for the Islamic. Ben Gurion was the head of the Jewish agency. He was the leader of the people before the state was established. He wasn't one of the first witnesses, because he spent in France a few months to arrange equipment, weapon, military instruments for he saw in his very eyes that it will be an independence war because the Arab neighbors will not enable a Jewish state in the Middle East. We were 500,000, the whole population, the Jewish population in Israel at that time. Less than 500,000 on 36. But he hoped that we are on a way to have a Jewish state, an independent state. But the neighbors opposed it. Jordanian, mainly the Egyptian and the Syrian, the Lebanese, Iraq and Iran, Saudi Arabia and the Yemen. 7 Arab countries against Israel. So he went to France and he bought weapons underground. This was his duty at the time. He arrived in Israel only in 1937, before the Peel Committee ended its investigations. He was called to give his testimony. 4 hours. 4 hours, a speech that Ben Gurion gave, the right of the Jewish people to have this homeland. This is our old, new homeland. And this is ours, and it belongs to us. It's our under possession. And he spoke full of enthusiasm and full of mainly biblical resources to say, this is ours. When he finished his speech, there were no cellular telephones at the time, 37, almost 80 years ago. The journalists, the radio speakers, went out. There were 3 cabins for public telephones. They stood in a line to give to the editorials what were the main points that Ben Gurion made in his historic speech. All of this, I tell it to Ben Gurion himself. On 1972, what happened on 1937 with him. And he was listening. After he finished his speech, time for investigation. Lord Peel. Mr. Ben Gurion, may I ask you a personal question? Ben Gurion, of course. Lord Peel, where were you born, Mr. Ben Gurion? Ben Gurion, in Plonsk. Plonsk? Lord Peel, where is it, Plonsk? In Poland. In Poland. After a while, Lord Peel whispering to the microphone, but everyone should know, a very strange phenomenon. All the Arab leaders, the Palestinians, who came to our committee were born here in Palestine, such as Nusayba, Nashashibi, Husseini, and Altal. And most of the Jewish witnesses were not born here, like you. Poland, Russia, Lithuania, Galicia, Hungary, Romania, mainly east of Europe. Mr. Ben Gurion, I want to ask you, someone who lives in a home, maybe even born in that home, and someone comes from out, saying to the one who lives here, go away. This home is mine. My father's, grandfather, great-grandfather. Go away. It's my home. Maybe he is correct. Maybe he's wrong. The international law and the international ethics say very simply, do you have a document that this home is your family's, belongs to your family? Here in Israel, we call this document Kushan. It's a Turkish name. Before the Great Britain, before the English mandate, 30 years from 1917 to 37, 400 years, it was under the control of Turkey, Ottomanish. And many words we have like Kushan. This is the document. Tabu is the office where you registrate real estate possessions. It's written in the tabu. You go to an office called tabu, all Turkish words. So Lord Peel used this Turkish word and said, Mr. Ben Gurion, do you have a Kushan, a document, that this home, Palestine, belongs to your people, to you? Spontaneously, this is the story I have heard, Ben Gurion lifted up the Bible from his pulpit. I said, of course, we have a Kushan. This is our Kushan, Lord Peel. The Bible. The Bible said that Lord Almighty have promised this land to Abraham, our ancient father, and then to the second patriarch, Isaac, and then to Jacob. And this is undoubtedly that we are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This Kushan, the Bible, is more known than every document from a taboo from an office here and there. This is our Kushan, Lord people. The same journalist jumped out to the 3 cabins of telephone to tell about this jest with the Bible that Ben Gurion said, the right of our land is taken from the spirit of the Bible. This is the name of your journey here, the land and the spirit. I asked Ben Gurion when I told him the story, is it true? Did it happen like this? I wasn't in this world when it happened. I was born later. But this is the story I have heard from one of Yerushalayim, a rabbi who was at the time. Ben Gurion smiled from one ear to the other. Very happy that after so many years, people know exactly word by word what happened with him. He said 2 words in Hebrew. Emet v'yatzif. It's true and strong true. Massive true. I made a book, Memoirs, from 1937. My whole speech in the committee of Peel is in this book. I will send it to you. And this jest with the Bible appears also in my book. When he ended, I said to him, Mr. Ben Gurion, I'm very happy to hear from you that this is true. That all our rights we speak today, BSD, boycott Israel, taken from the Bible. Thousands of years. Who another one? Tell me, in the New Testament is written the borders of Italy or Greece, France or England. In the Quran, you can find the borders or the possession of Iraq and Iran, Egypt and Libya. No. But the borders of the Eretz Israel, the land of the Jewish people, is in the Bible. It was many years before the New Testament and the Quran. Quran was established 622 past era. And I speak about 4,000 years ago. May I ask you also a personal question? Ben Gurion said, yes. What is the question? And if someone has a document that all his dreams, hopes, expectations are in this document in one condition, that this document is reliable, accepted. No, it's truth. If the same one whose dreams are in this document, he will fold it, he will turn it, he will make it dirty, full of stains, and then he will say, respect my rights according to this document. People will laugh at him and say, you yourself don't respect the document. How do you want us to respect it? If all our rights to the land of Israel are in spirit of the Bible, first of all, we have to respect it. In this Bible, there are some other sentences except the belonging of Eretz Israel to the people of Israel, to Am Israel. Shabbat. Shabbat is also mentioned in this document, the Bible. To observe the Shabbat, not to desecrate it. And kashrut, kosher food. We cannot be selectively and to say, because the world will laugh at us. Kabed et avicha v'et imecha, give honor and respect to your father and your mother. This is accepted. Don't mix meat with milk is not accepted. The land belongs to you, accepted. Fast on Yom Kippur, this is not accepted. We cannot be selective. Or you take it or you leave it. That time was Yasser Arafat. If we will not observe the commandments of the Bible, of the Torah, Yasser Arafat will not respect our belonging to the land of Israel. What will be the answer? What was the answer of Ben Gurion of my question? Or you take it or not? He was very smart. Very, very smart. Because he was so smart, he didn't answer my question. He didn't. What can you answer? Speaking about this land and about the spirit. Unfortunately, not everyone understands it. But this is the piece of history. History is a story. From grandfather to his son, from the father to his son, and generations to generations. This is the history. The history tells the story of this very special land. Not very big, but very important. One thing you cannot change. The past. The past you cannot change. Sara, Sara. What happened is happened. You can force it. But you cannot change it. The past tells the story. When it was under Jewish belonging, all the judges, all the kings, all the prophets, all the scholars were here, accomplished here. When it was not in our hands, when we were all of us in diaspora, in exile, what happened here? 400 years under the Turkish control. Can you tell me one book which was created in those 400 years? Not even one. The Roman ruled over Palestine. They gave the name Palestine. 600 years. The Arabs of Salah ad-Din and Harun al-Rashid ruled over Palestine 460 years. Give me a name of one book that they made here. One accomplishment in agriculture, in science, in medicine, whatever. Nothing. Yuck. We are here, look the cities, look the universities, look the Torah world, the yeshivot. Ask how many books are printed here. 5,000 every year, new books. In spite of 7 wars, in spite of absorption of new olim, from 500,000 we became 8 million in 68 years. Thanks God. And created so much in high tech, medicine, medical sent us here, some of them best in the world. It shows who is the owner, who is Baal Habayit, to whom does it belong. Eretz Israel belongs to Am Israel according to Torah Israel, the Torah.